gentlemen, welcome to episode 398. I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is a good friend of mine, Dave Mudge. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Hi, you're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
No, the honor's all mine. And now for people who want to know what my talk show's about. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. That you should never give up, and you should prove people wrong. Show them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them, hashtag, break the labels. That being said, half hour, 32 minutes of your time. And with that being said, you can say anything you want, talk about whatever you want. Freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. And starting off, I like your hat. I have something similar to that. Are you a fan of Breaking Bad?
I am. I've never actually seen it.
Well, you do have the Walter White look going for you. Now, go ahead.
I'm a movie guy as opposed to more of a as opposed to a TV guy. I like my movie.
You do have the Walter White look going for you.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Just shave your head and you can just be Heisenberg. What's that?
Yeah, no, I got funny hair up there.
Well, it's always nice to have hair than going for the Cubo look, right?
Yeah, you look like you got yourself a nice head of hair still, too. So.
No, I appreciate it. Now, with that being said, I'm going to ask you some easy questions and hard-hitting ones. And starting off, what can you tell us about life growing up?
Life growing up, I grew up in a great family. My parents are still married. I grew up in a middle-class house. My dad worked full-time for General Motors. My mom was a stay-at-home mom with an Avon business. And they also did Shackley. So I was familiar with the network marketing industry and things like that. Familiar with business a little bit. I kind of grew up around it. From the time I was, I guess, in my personal life, from the time I was in kindergarten to the time I was in college, I was bullied my whole life. Not sure why I was the guy they picked out, but usually it's the nice guy that they pick out. So I went through a lot of that, and I had to deal with all that and learn how to get through it. And it was a good experience to overcome it, and it made me who I am today.
No, absolutely.
Jump to others.
In my case, I was always picked on by, family members or people who I worked for, but it's pretty much the same. People will always call you, retarded or mentally challenged or whatever labels they want to throw at you. But it's up to you to turn that around and say, hey, you know what, you call me a retard? That's fine. But I'm going to show you I'm going to have the last laugh. I'm going to turn that into something, and then you're going to live with degree regret saying, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But it's all about turning a weakness into a strength.
Absolutely. Les Brown was actually considered retarded growing up until a teacher explained to him that he never wanted him to hear him say that again. Did you know that? I'm sure you're familiar with Les Brown.
Not really. Can you give us a little background on him?
Oh, Les Brown's an amazing motivational speaker and author. He's got 20 or 30 books out. He's a motivational speaker, travels the whole U.S. and the world, speaking at different conventions, speaking at company events. Great guy. You got to look him up.
No, absolutely. Hey, if you can put a good word in for me, I appreciate it. But
reach out to him. I'm sure he'll reach back.
Now, you asked me before we went on the air, how come I reached out to you. Make a long story short, to show you were on, I was going to have one of the hosts as a guest. But she wanted to use Zoom, and Skype wasn't working for her for some reason. we're still working out on the details. So I'm trying to get her back on Skype, trying to tell her to use a computer, get better Wi-Fi. And I listened to what you said, and I was like, I would like to extend my hand to you in friendship. And I was like, why not? You are a perfect example of what I want to be on the show. You have your own company. You have two companies.
I do.
And one of the... Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm just confirming that. Yes, I have two companies.
And one of the things you said was mailing cards to people. And what I did recently, it's funny enough that we came at the same time, was I don't have my stage name. I can tell you after. My stage name is Keith Andrew. And I became friends with a couple of people who I interviewed. And I came up with the idea, I was like, hey, I like receiving stuff. Let's send some holiday cards to each other. Or let's send some birthday cards. Just to work on the friendship building and the trust and everything. And I saw that one of your companies is mailing cards.
Yes, it is.
So
it's called SendOutCards.
With that being said, what can you tell us about it?
SendOutCards is a relationship marketing company. And it was founded by Cody Bateman. And Cody had a vision of just reaching out and lifting people up. And he wanted a way to do that. We live in a time where people need to be encouraged. And they need to be lifted up. We live in a hate-filled and depressed world at sometimes. And SendOutCards is just a simple way for a business to appreciate their clients, or for personal use to just appreciate each other and lift each other up.
No, absolutely. I have something I'd like to show you. A lot of people said to me, this is stupid, you should just throw them out. But what I have a bunch of business cards. And here's the first one. It has my logo on it, the KeithAndrewNetWork. And on the back it has my speech, even though there is a typo for the word of. It was supposed to be OF. For whatever reason is, I guess I wasn't paying attention. So it has OD on it. So I was like, well, so I have this, and when I was mailing the holiday cards, I had this for about 3 years. I had my also card, KeithAndrewNetWork.
Awesome.
On the back, it's a holiday card. And I'm like, well, instead of just giving you a card, I'm also giving you a little business card. And also not just a little business card, also a holiday card. So I tried to make it not like I'm trying to sell something, because apparently they were on the show already and they know the whole spiel. But I didn't feel like throwing out money. I was like, oh, why do you have this here? Just throw it out. I'm like, I have it. I might as well give it to you guys. And what's perfect about the postcard, actually, I'll just put it down now, I can't find it again. What's great about the postcard is you can use it for decorations. You can just put a magnet on it, and it's actually a really nice picture, if you think about it. But one cousin... go ahead.
No, I was just going to share, we do the postcards, and, with our company, you had mentioned you're not trying to sell them anything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with SendOutCards, is we're not trying to sell you anything. We're trying to lift you up, and this is actually one I drive for Jimmy John's part-time. And this is the card that I sent to my customers. It's a simple thank you. We appreciate the delivery orders we get. How many people have sent their customers that get a sub-delivered a card? It's all about reaching out and appreciation.
Hey, I hope you don't take offense to this, but I'm going to take that idea. I would love to do a card like that.
That's awesome. Take it. Run with it.
Now, for next thing of all on the subject is, do you use Vistaprint, number one? Because I use Vistaprint. They host my website and also work with GoDaddy. But Vistaprint's really good. Every time I have a business card I work with them. I am very curious about trying promo box. Basically, I don't know. Do you know what promo box is?
I've never heard of that. No.
Alright, so basically doing a little plug for them. Alright, so what it is they give you a box. It's like, I think $5 a month or something. But they give you a box, and it's filled with business cards, postcards, notepads. They will send you a mug. They will do like a shirt for you. It's really good. I'm going to send you the link if you're interested. And it's pretty good. And once a month, they will send you a box. And I'm like, well, I do need the mugs, so I might as well make a collection of mugs for myself. So once I do Comic-Con, I have something to hand out. But it's pretty interesting that they do these different things. And they're competing like, at Loot Crate. Loot Crate, you pay like $20 a month, and then they send you a box. Then Level Up. Then it's Gamer. And then there's the 90 box, or my favorite, the 80s box. The 80s one's really nice, where you get everything from the 80s. But it's, everyone does like a little theme to it. So I was thinking about doing the Keith Andrew box. Here's a shirt, here's a mug, here's a flyer, $5 a month. But with that being said, who influenced you to start your, actually we talked about your first company, so let's just stay on that. For your first company, who influenced you to start that? And have you ever worked or approached any famous people to work with you?
Well, my parents were the ones that inspired me to get started in SendOutCards. The reason I really moved over to SendOutCards from a company that I was with formerly was to get to the top of the company with my dad. I really wanted something in common with him. I've never had a lot in common with him. So this was one thing that we had in common, and he is an awesome man, filled with integrity, and I just wanted to be attached to him with this company, and this was a good way to do that. I'm sorry, I lost track of the question.
So basically,
you had asked me what got me started in it, and then what?
Oh, have you ever approached any famous people? But while on the subject, is this your dad's company or is this your company?
We all independently own our own franchise through SendOutCards.
Right.
SendOutCards is the company, and that company is owned by Cody Bateman, and he's offered everybody the opportunity to own their own relationship marketing company through SendOutCards.
Oh, nice.
So that's how, yeah. So the approaching people famous is actually really interesting because it's SendOutCards being a company designed to reach out to people. I write a lot of famous people. And in fact, three of the guys that I'm working with right now, I'm sure you're very familiar with: Kevin Harrington, Damon John, and Tim Tebow I'm reaching out to. I actually got a chance to meet and send a card, and I got a response back from Joe Girard, who was the #1 salesman in the world according to the Guinness World Records. Ironically, he used greeting cards and gifts to become the #1 salesman in the world. And he was very excited when he got a card from me with a box of brownies, and on the front of the card was me and him.
Oh, nice.
And a selfie that I took when I met him. So it's very easy to reach out to people with this. And it's not about the sale. It's just about appreciating them. How many times do you see that famous person, unfortunately, take their own life because they don't feel appreciated? They aren't. They're doing what they love, but they don't feel loved.
No, I agree with you. It's 100%. With that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back,
Sure.
I'm going to talk to you about your second company. And what's the last 12 minutes left, I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Okay.
A message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shoutouts, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link, so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from, and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities, and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
The 398, I'm here. I'm here with myself. Hello, one of those days. This is episode 398. I am your host, Keith Andrew, along with a good friend, Dave Mudge, and I just want to say thank you for sticking with us.
Absolutely.
Now,
it's been fun.
No, it's a great time. You know, before I pass the show over to you, the last subject I want to ask you, actually, the last two subjects, if I may. The first one is, what can you tell us about your second company? And where do you stand on social media? Do you think social media can make you or break you?
Oh, all right. Well, my second company is a designated driving company called Designated Dave. My wife and I run that, and we get you and your car home safe. We, for the most part, stick to our own county. It makes things a lot easier. We don't have to hire employees. Because we drive the customer's car, we don't have to pay more for insurance. It's a great concept, and I utilize my relationship marketing company to reach out to those customers, and almost everybody we have is referrals because they're blown away that we send thank you cards to them. In fact, one lady that we drove, they went on vacation. When they got back, there was a card and a box of brownies waiting for them that said, "We appreciate your business." And she calls me up. She's like, "Why didn't you send me a thank you card? I should send you one." I'm like, "Well, I appreciate the business." And we got referrals from that. One of the referrals we got right off the bat was we did in fact, our first customer was a wedding for the designated driving company. And it was two couples that we drove home from the wedding. Those couples referred another family member, and we've probably made $5,000 off of that referral. And every single time we send them cards. If there's anything in his family that goes on, we send them a card to, wish him condolences or, something like that. I send them a Halloween card just for the heck of it. But the designated driving company I had a passion for because when I was 17, there was a really bad accident. I was actually in the parking lot at work. I was working at Kroger's at the time. And there was a car that we saw explode. So we knew it was bad. And we headed down there, and it ended up being a classmate that was hit by a drunk driver and was killed instantly. And ever since then, I was like, man, I wish there was a way to get people home safe without charging them a fortune.
Right. And
now we do that.
So
we have a blast.
Would you say you're kind of like a taxi company?
Yeah, I guess we are technically. But because we drive the customer's car, we also get their car home. My wife drives our van and follows us home. So it keeps everybody a lot safer. When somebody calls Designated Dave, they actually get me and my wife. They don't get an employee.
Right.
Unless it's like New Year's Eve and we have 6 or 8 runs that night. We can't do them all. But normally you'll get us, which is really cool. It adds a comfort level there instead of just calling Uber and you don't know who you're going to get. And the fact that you don't need to take an Uber back to get your car the next day is pretty nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. And one question for people out there, and especially for me, is how do you drive a person's car? How do you get on there in charge? Say, hypothetically, I don't drive, but you were using my car. I thought it was one of those days, I just got off work and anyway, I haven't done my interviews as of late. So you're driving one of my cars but you're not on my insurance. So how is that? What happens if you get into an accident? It's like one of those things.
Right, I understand what you're saying. In Michigan, we have no fault insurance, and if you have full coverage, you're automatically covered under. Like if I have full coverage insurance. So if you as my customer had full coverage, I'm automatically covered on your insurance, even though I'm driving your car. And because it's your car, my car is just being used to pick me up. I don't need any extra special insurance for that. I'm covered by the customer's insurance. That's how it works in Michigan. So I'm sure it is different in different places.
No, right. I'm from New York, so I really don't know how that would work.
Oh, Uber's big there, isn't it?
Well, in the city, yes, but I'm more like 2 hours. I keep mixing it up. I think I'm either 2 hours north or 2 hours east from the city. And they are trying Uber. Uber's like I'm by West Point. And they are...
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm acknowledging what you're saying. That's all.
So I'm by West Point, Woodbury Commons. And so they're trying Uber. I never called them. Because they want... I give you an example. A taxi that I work with. It's a Village taxi or another taxi, and they're like, "Oh, $10." I'm like, "Okay," and then I'm like, "How much does Uber want?" And they want 15, and then they're like, "Well, then they charge you per mile." So it's kind of like, so if you're in traffic, that's another and another and another dollar. So instead of 15, it's actually like 20 or 25. So it's kind of like, I just stay as a taxi.
There you go.
So was that?
It adds up. It adds up money-wise.
No, it's all about saving money.
Absolutely.
That being said, it was the last 6 minutes left. I'm going to pass the show over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? It's your time after all.
Well, I guess if there's anything I want to promote people reaching out to people. Take the time, whether it's through me, contact me, or whoever, get a card out there. Get thank you cards out to your customers. Get thank you cards out to your friends, and let people know that they're appreciated. So many people are hurting in this world. I had 4 friends in Las Vegas, close friends that were that lost friends in that shooting.
Right.
That big terrorist attack. And in fact, my friend Jordan lives on the Strip. He lives in a condo on the Strip. And he can see the concert from his condo. And he was going to go to the concert that night, but decided to go see friends in San Diego instead. So fortunately, that was a good choice. But, I sent cards. Sorry, my cat's in the way now. I immediately sent cards to those friends I had in Vegas just to let them know that I really love them and I really appreciated them, and I was happy to know they were all right. And I was sorry for the friends that they had lost and the friends that were injured. It's so important to lift each other up, and we just don't do it enough.
No, I agree with you.
I use sending cards for everything.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny you should mention that because on the same day, trying to figure out Raleigh Foster or Miss Foster. It's hard to pronounce her name. I think Raleigh Foster was on Fox News and she was talking about the shooting and everything. It's funny. Well, what's not funny about the shooting? What's funny is because I reached out to her for my show, and I was like, hey, I recognize that person. I reached out to have her on the show, and I was like, oh, you did? And I was like, oh, jeez, we can't take you anywhere, Keith. So basically, it was. I know it's one of those situations where it wasn't funny, but it was funny as to seeing her on TV. I'm glad she's okay. Not going to work. Still trying to get her on the show. But, with social media, are you on LinkedIn, Stage 32, Twitter, Instagram?
Social media wise, I knew you would ask me something else, and I was a little bit sorry about that. Social media wise, my main source of social media is Facebook. I did use LinkedIn for a long time, and then when I upgraded my phone, now I can't get back into it for some reason. So I gotta call them and make sure I can get back in there because I was building a lot of relationships on there. But I use Facebook a lot. I focus on networking with business professionals as much as I can, people that are like-minded. I want to learn from people. I want to grow in my business, and I want to grow in my mindset. And I became with friends. I've become this week. I actually reached out and friended 50 people on Facebook. All of them are business owners, but I'm not there to sell stuff. I'm there to build relationships. And so if you're there for that, you can do it. It's a great tool for that. It's a great tool for reaching out and building relationships and building new friendships. It can also destroy you if you start getting into political stuff or if you start getting into negative comments and negative feelings. Can destroy your business in a heartbeat. Positive feelings and reaching out to people in kindness and just reaching out to build relationships can explode your network.
Well, can you give us a perfect example of what you mean by that?
Yes, actually I can. I was on Damon John's site and I was scrolling through the comments and I found a friend. Now she's a friend. I found a girl. Her name is Kristen. That I really liked the comment. Damon John had posted a question, and I liked her comment, and I friended her. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she did or anything. I friended her because she was on a business page, so obviously she has a business mindset, and reached out to her. She showed me what she does, and I shared with her what I do. She jumped on board as my customer because she wanted to use it in her company.
Right.
And now people from her company are jumping on board and using it because they want to help their companies. And it's just become a really good friendship. I've met, 30 or 40 people from her, just from her personally, and have created a lot of really good friendships there.
No, that's all it's about, extending your hand in friendship, introducing yourself, and just being polite and professional. And either people are going to take to you, or they're not going to be jackasses about it and to thumb their nose on you. But once you magically appear on TV, then they're going to spin around like, whoa, I didn't realize that you're going to be big star. But, it's kind of like one of those things where the saying is, be kind to the people that you meet going up, because you're going to meet the same people coming down.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to say the other thing that'll destroy you ask if social media will make you or break you.
Yeah.
If you are on social media to sell stuff and you aren't interested in building a relationship, it'll break you. If you reach out to people in kindness and you reach out to build relationships with people, and the sale is going to come with the relationship. Some people are going to be your customer, some people aren't. So if you are out there to just sell stuff, it'll break you. If you're out there to build relationships, and I just did want to share. If you don't mind, I'd like to share my two websites with you.
Yeah, sure.
For people to visit. My Facebook.com, Mudge75, and the SendOutCards one, of course, it's backwards, is SendOutCards.com/126770. And you can also visit, you can also find me on Designated Dave on Facebook.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I do want to say one thing. we didn't have to do that because all that will be in the description box.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Hey, you help me, I help you. So the only thing I would ask is, after we're done with our conversation, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but
Sure.
after we're done with the conversation, just send me the links and add them to your Facebook and website, and I will put that in the post.
Outstanding. I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime. Now,
And it was,
when we go off the air, I do have a couple questions for you, but wrapping up, my last question for you is, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction? And after being a guest on my show, how do you feel now?
well, I believe one of the things that you had mentioned was you're looking to find people that you wanted proof that special needs people could become, that could live a normal life.
Yes.
And you wanted my testimony to that. And I tell you what, I drove for special needs kids for 14 years, and some of those children on my bus are my business partners. So, and they're building successful businesses. Some of them are in bands and they have huge success in the music industry. Some of them are in football, and some of them coach football. So, I mean, they're great.
Yeah, it's just about showing you labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them you can stem out to something.
Absolutely. Hang on one second. Oh, and that's the other thing. I was confused with what my wife was saying in the background, but she has bipolar disorder, and she actually is a blogger. She is a professional cat blogger. She's written for Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, that's what
she has over 30,000 followers.
That's what I was trying to say before. Fostner works for the 500 thing. That's how I met her from. But while on the subject, your wife is more than welcome to be a guest on the show. I would love to do an interview with her.
Awesome. I'll talk to her about that.
Well, wrapping up our interview now. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest. Looking forward to part 2 down the road, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
Outstanding. You too.